It's been 12 years since Bolton Wanderers last played a game in the Football League, and we're back. Hello and welcome to part 24 of the Bolton Battle. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have Bolton's first game back in the Football League. We're back up into League 2. We've been away for 12 years. But here we are back in the Football League. We're playing at home against Port Vale. I just want to have a little look at League 2 just to kick things off, because it's 12 years since Bolton were last at this level. It must be getting on for 20 seasons since I last managed at this level in this save, I guess. How far into the future are we? At least 17 seasons, and it's a really odd looking League 2. So there's some big names in there. We've got Birmingham in there, Coventry, obviously Bolton are in there as a big name, and then there's some tiny little teams as well that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be there. Barrow, Salford were down there somewhere, so we're going to come up against them this season. Fleetwood are in there as well. It's quite an interesting little mix. So that's what League 2 looks like. The media are predicting that we're going to get relegated. They're predicting a 23rd place finish for us. Obviously, we'd quite like to avoid getting relegated. As much as it would be nice to try and achieve a back-to-back promotion, I don't think it's very likely. And any finish from 22nd upwards really is going to be a bit of a result. The board are just looking for us to stay in this division. So if we can manage to achieve that, I'll be rather happy. Good news is the bank balance is ever growing. We're up to £1.4 million in the bank now. We've spent most of the transfer budget we had at the start of the season, but a lot of that has gone on incentives for this season and signing on fees rather than transfers. We've not spent a lot of money, although we are pushing up towards the cap of our wage budget now. And the projection looks a little bit scary because I don't think that takes into account the increased season tickets and the hopefully higher attendances that we're going to have this season. But enough of this waffle. Let's get into the players. Because as usual, we've been rather busy in the transfer market. We'll start off with notable players leaving the club. Jordan Allen has departed after 2 seasons at the club. I thought he was going to be a superstar for us when he came in, and he was all right in that first season. But the arrival of LBC and Pat Finlay as well just spelled the end of his Bolton Wanderers career. So he's moved on a free transfer. He's made it into the Football League as well, to be fair. He's gone to League 2 side Stockport, so you can't really complain about how that's turned out for him. Dion Talbot refused to sign a new deal. We tried and tried and tried. He's now an under-21s keeper for Shrewsbury in League 1. Very upsetting. He's going to be a good goalkeeper, but he just wasn't interested. So we had no choice but to let him go. Colin Lamb has departed. Bit of a shame. He's been at the club a long time. He signed the season before I took over. Was instrumental in this system that we now play. If he hadn't been at the club, we never would have fiddled with trying a 3 at the back system. But because we had a natural wing back, it seemed like a sensible thing to try. And for that first season where we did it, we just had Lamb on one side and Johnson on the other side as a fullback, not really a proper wing back. But Lamb was so good as a wing back that we persevered with the system, and it's now got us 2 promotions. So thank you, Colin Lamb, and good luck at Hales Owen. I don't understand how he's dropped out of the National League completely and is now playing in the non-league abyss. So see you, Colin. It was good, and hope you make your way back up one day. Same goes for Andrew Freeman to a lesser extent. He was very good when he came in our first season in the Conference National. Even to be honest, even better last season. His average rating was very, very good. 26 assists across 2 seasons from right back. You would be expecting him to be the kind of player we'd want to keep around, but Glenn Jennings is just much better than he is. He only came in as backup to Freeman and just stole his spot almost immediately and never let him have it back. And we've now signed in a better replacement, a better backup player than Freeman would have been. So Andrew Freeman has been released on a free transfer, not yet found a club, which I find bizarre. He's been out of contract for 6 weeks and no one's even interested in him, are they? I'm kind of tempted to just bring him back because that just doesn't seem right. He was a very important player to us over the last couple of years. Slightly less important players. Some of the other ones we've let go. Stephen Davis has gone. Kylan Kane, who you might remember from that first season, has disappeared as well. Never fulfilled his potential. And George Grayson has gone off to Dulwich Hamlet, having not played a game for us at all last year, but playing a lot the season before. So coming into the club, we'll start with the big money signing. We went out and we bought a goalkeeper because Eggs just, I couldn't do it in the Football League. He needs a season training and hopefully getting to the point where he can take over for Matthew Crabb again the season after maybe. But this lad comes in from Leamington. I mean, his if we look at his history, it's not exactly... I mean, he had 15 clean sheets in the Conference North a few years ago. But, importantly, he's played in the Premier League for Chelsea 3 times. He had a nice long spell at Posh. And he's been a good goalkeeper in a poor side at Leamington. And he's going to get his chance in the Football League now. And if he's rubbish, we've only lost 23 grand and we'll bring Eggs back into the side. So Matthew Crabb comes in, takes the number 1 shirt. We've also spent money on Finlay Gooden. I hope he is. You'll hear that a lot. I mean, that's the only reason I signed him, really. He also comes in from the National League. We've done that bit where we've sort of cherry-picked the top players from the division we've just come out of, and also tried to bring in some players with a bit of league experience as well. So Gooden comes in because he can play in central midfield or attacking midfield, and has had certainly a good last 2 seasons for Ilkeston. But bags of experience in the Conference National, one of the top players down there. Happy to have him on board. And this is the guy that is basically responsible for Freeman leaving the club. Warren Lawrence comes in as a backup right wing back for us. Although he might push Jennings. He's not going to, is he? But he might. But the reason I've signed him is, look at this. To be able to bring in a player for next to no money who has been a regular in League Two for the last 8 seasons. Jennings is going to have to be on his toes to keep this guy out of the team, because that's 240 games in the division we're now entering. So that experience for $1.5 grand just seemed invaluable. Couldn't really turn that down. I'm not going to go through every player we brought in a free transfer, but we'll pick out the important ones. We have signed another backup goalkeeper, Rod Sinnott, just because his potential is as good as Eggs. And now he's about the same age as Eggs as well. So it's now a race between the two of them to see which one of them becomes better than Crabb first. And I've told them both that as well. And one of them I expect to take over as first choice keeper, probably before the season is out. This guy, if he can stay fit, is going to score bags of goals for us. Sean Friend, we've given him the number 9 shirt because the violent man, Valen Harrington, I don't even know if he's left the club yet. I think he's still sort of hovering around in the under-21s, just kicking people. Probably kicked Sean Friend. That's why he's got shin splints. Just give him a quick kick in the shin. But this was the only player on our scout reports all summer where we were told we had to sign him whatever the price. The price was free, and he's not even on a particularly expensive contract. But he was the top goal scorer in the National League last season with 27 goals in 38 appearances. Sorry, the season before. For Milton Keynes Dons, and scored bags of goals over the last sort of 3 seasons, but spent last season injured. I don't really get it, because he got that dislocated shoulder. We were told he was injury prone, but it doesn't look like he actually had an injury last season. So why didn't Milton Keynes play him? He scored 20. He was top scorer in the whole league 2 years ago and didn't play a match last year. Not even a non-competitive match. So he didn't even play for the reserves or anything. Odd. But the scouts reckon he's brilliant, so he comes in. Good player for most League 2 sides. Why are MK Dons not playing him? Who knows? But he's going to come in and hopefully score lots of goals. Who else have we got? Danny Swift. He's another good quality central midfielder who's going to offer some competition to LBC and Lee Martin. He comes in on a free transfer from Telford after playing a full season in League 2 with them. They did get relegated. But, League 2 experience, all important, etc., etc. Richard Perry. Yes, it says he's a winger, but look, he's natural as an attacking midfielder as well. He came in from Chester, having spent a couple of seasons there as a flying winger. He's going to have to learn to play in behind the front 2, but hopefully he will be able to do that. And the other one who you're likely... there's 2 more who are likely to be regulars in the first team. The rest are just kids who you'll meet as you meet them. But Justin Grocott, 23-year-old centre-back. Yes, I know, another centre-back. But look, he's been playing for QPR in League One. Another one who didn't play a game last year. Does that just mean they've been without a club for an entire year? And if so, why didn't they retire? I mean, he's going to have to up his average ratings throughout his entire career. Fingers crossed he will, though. I mean, he's played Championship, League 2, League 1. Plenty of experience at a higher level than what we're at. So hopefully he'll lend a bit of Football League experience to us. And then the last one, Carl Howe, another striker, 26 years old, comes in from Morecambe, where he's scored sort of a goal every 3 games in League 2 over the last 5 years. So probably not going to be a regular start. We've still got Mitchell. I can't remember. In fact, probably haven't. Dave Mitchell signed on loan again for another year. There you go. That's an important one. And we've still got Luke. And we've got Friend. So Howe's probably coming in as a 4th choice striker, depending on how Luke and Mitchell make their step up. But to have your 4th choice striker with over 100 games at this level and a goal every 3 games, that's not a bad situation to be in, is it? So, enough of all that. Let's get into the team for today's game. So you've already met pretty much everybody who's involved today, I think. There's plenty of familiar faces in there for you as well. So, our starting lineup. And the reason Eggs isn't on the bench is because he's injured. So Eggs is out for 4 weeks. Sean Friend is going to be out for 6 weeks. So we're not going to see him and all his goals just yet. But with that in mind, our starting lineup for the first game back in the Football League in 12 seasons, we've got Matthew Crabb in goal, a back 3 of Grocott, Roberts and Albinson. That's right, I'm playing Roberts from the start, even though he barely did that last season. Just looking at them all with a full pre-season, Roberts does look like a good player. The predictable wing-back pairing of Berry and Jennings, hopefully they can make the step up and get 50 assists between them again. LBC partner Swift in midfield with Lee Martin dropping down to the bench. And Richard Perry plays in behind Mitchell and Carl Howe with Abbott and Luke on the bench. The only reason Luke isn't starting alongside Mitchell is because he's not quite fully fit. But Chris Abbott's still knocking around as well and might rediscover some of that marvellous form that we know he's very capable of. New boys on the bench, we've got Rod Sinnott as a backup goalkeeper, Warren Lawrence, who was that right wing back, and Finlay Gooden, let's hope he is, who can play anywhere in sort of this midfield area. So, fingers crossed, Port Vale at home. I don't know if Port Vale are any good. Let's look at them over the last... they're a middling League 2 side. They're the sort of team you'd expect us to beat, hopefully. What do the bookies think? Do we get to find out what the bookies think? I think we still want us to... Yeah, we just tried to submit this team. Let's play the team, for goodness sake. Oh, now it's going to process. It's just predetermining the result beforehand. Oh, no, you didn't. There you go. We are favourites for the match. Marvellous. So hopefully we can go out there and win our first game back in the Football League. Go on then, Henry. Give him a... Brilliant. Inspirational. Well played, Henry Ellison. Right, here we go. We've got new squad numbers to get used to as well, so that's probably going to take a few minutes. Some of them have got their familiar shirts on. Berry's still your number 8, but LBC picked up the number 7 shirt now, which is going to confuse me forever, basically. And I don't know why Justin Grocott's wearing number 32. I don't think he might have signed after we did the squad numbers, because I certainly signed him with a view to playing him, so unless I just forgot about him. Carl Howe has already picked up an injury, and Dave Mitchell looks like he's struggling as well. That's a really good start, isn't it? We've already lost our main striker. We're going to lose the next 2 as well. Luke's also still injured. It's going to be Abbott up front on his own. We're going to have to call Harrington back up from the reserves. He's kicking them all. He's probably linesman or something. He's in there. What's Bolton's mascot? I don't know, a giant, rabbit. Who knows? The big Bolton rabbit. I bet you're all familiar with him. Harrington's in there and he's kicking all our players. What's wrong with Howe then? It's only a head injury. He's had a punch in the mouth and that's it. I'm more worried about Dave Mitchell actually, because I don't know why his fitness is falling as far as it is. Abbott and Luke both need to be prepared to be coming on rather imminently. So I think we're going to need them both, especially if that happens. How has Crabb got himself booked? When do goalkeepers get booked? Surely we've not signed a mentalist to go in goal for us. Where's Eggs? Someone go and fetch Eggs. Oh, what's happened here? I don't want to lose our first game of the season at home as well against one of the poorer teams in the division. If we're going to lose games like this, it's going to be a long, long season. So we're not getting the tackles in. Crab just sort of palms it back out. He's wearing a short sleeve shirt, which always concerns me a little bit with a keeper. It seems a bit shifty to me. What's with the short sleeves, Crab? Oh dear. Oh dearie me. Even my coffee's gone cold because I waffled so long at the start as well. Normally I get to have that between the two matches. Obviously we're only doing one today because I talked for so long. Kind of wish we hadn't bothered with a match. It was quite a good episode until that point. Right, both the strikers need to come off. I mean, it's too late, really. And it's not the attack that's causing the problem, but I don't know. You never know. We might bring them on and we might get one of those spectacular Luke hat-tricks or something. But we're just not playing well today, are we? Which is a bit of a problem. Abbott, though, is through. Berry, can he cross? He does. Perry is in and Luke's there and Luke gets one back. There you go. That's why Luke exists. He's got the number 11 shirt now, by the way. Because he's left-footed, so he should be a number 11. I mean, look, he has 2 bites at that. Right foot he missed, left foot puts it in exactly the same spot, but because he's got the number 11 on and used his left foot, putting it in the same spot with his left foot guarantees a goal, because that's how these things work. Right, we have a chance to rescue a draw from this game now, and it all relies on the substitution that we make next. I mean, I'm looking at that and thinking, well, none of the back three are having a particularly good game. But changing them isn't going to get us a goal back. But bringing Finlay Gooden, let's hope he is, on for Perry, if he is, could be a rather positive change. So let's find out. Oh, so many headlines about to write themselves. And this is where we should have taken one of the centre-backs off. Luckily, we've got away with that a little bit. We've got 10 minutes. Come on, Finlay. Prove that you are. Oh, nothing's happening. No highlight. Brilliant. Oh, can I redo the last 10 minutes of this match? Just so that... Oh, Grocott. What's our centre-back doing taking a free kick? That was just wasteful. And we've lost. Brilliant. Perhaps Finlay isn't. There we go. Well, at least they're fired up. They're more fired up now than they were before the match. They're useless. Right. We're going to go off and probably lose a few more games and come back to you a little bit later on in the season. Not too far. Sometime in September, probably. And hopefully we won't be drifting away rock bottom. Although, Salford might be an interesting one. Just because, people typing it into YouTube. Salford. Oh, I'll watch it. I've always wanted a YouTube video about Salford. Yeah, we're doing that one, probably. Search engine optimization and all that nonsense. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.